Good morning, everybody. Thank you for staying for our little update. As you know, we've had this big waterproofing project going on, as you can tell, and it is moving along. But we want to go over some of the reasons that we started this whole project. So going back over 2 decades, there has been a musty odor in the lower level of the building. The new music room, which was the old chapel, had a moisture issue with a musty smell and some mildew in there. We had to dispose of the piano that was in that room as it had mold growing in it and was not able to be resurrected. The musty smell was also in other rooms in that area, including the preschool rooms, the new missions room, and some mold along with that moisture. So these are the reasons we approached the Harding Family Charitable Trust to get funding for the waterproofing project. This project is necessary for the health of the children in this preschool and the longevity of this beautiful building. We have a slideshow that documents the process and progress of the project. I'm going to turn it over to Scott, who has been very diligent in overseeing the work and documenting it for future generations of caretakers of this building. And please feel free to ask questions.
Of you or me?
Of you.
Good morning. I guess I'm here this morning to tell you why the front yard looks the way it does. But if you turn on I'm going to do, this is in like 7 different sections, and it's not in any particular order, except this is the projects as they transpired in a timeline order. So the first thing that we did was, many of you may not know, but there is a sub-basement under this portion of the church that houses the HVAC equipment that we have down below. This has always been a problem in the many years that I've been here, and anybody that has served on trustees knows this has always been an issue of water coming down and pouring down into that lower staircase. About 10 years ago, we came very close to losing all the furnaces because there was over 1 foot of water in there because the drain had clogged. So in closing this staircase eliminated that problem, plus the fact that it was only like in there for 3 days and we had a downpour and water was standing up against the building. So we know that that was, was the right thing to do. There's also a storage area under there too that housed the organ blower that was originally supposed to be put in the church, but now it's just an empty space. So this opens up the possibility of us having more storage in there. So this was a necessary thing, and plus the fact that now that it's enclosed, we can build up that portion of the slope so it doesn't run down there as much, and gives us access for equipment for the macerator in the back and for any maintenance that has to be done in the backyard. So the second thing that happened was the tearing up of the courtyard here. They dug down and tore out. You want to advance the next set of slides. This is the drain tile that's along in the courtyard. It's been replaced with 6-inch all the way through for storm drains. Down below there, those blue pipes is 4-inch of field tile all along the foundation. The great news is that in all their digging up around the church, they were expecting to find cracks in the foundation, and they make a special kind of epoxy that they put in there to seal that before they put waterproofing over. They haven't found one crack in the foundation of this church. So I guess there's a biblical thing there that if you have a firm foundation in Christ, you won't crack, I guess. But, and then advance a couple more slides. This slide here, where you see the guy standing, just to the right of his foot, you'll see a pipe. This pipe was the drain that drained all the water from this side of the sanctuary, the south side of the sanctuary, into the storm drain. When they dug this up, that 6-inch drain had collapsed and was about this far below where it was supposed to be. So all these drains on the north side or the south side of the sanctuary weren't draining properly. Once the drain tile filled up, it spilled out into the, into the yard against the foundation. And a few years back, we kind of had a musty smell here in the sanctuary. We thought it was because of the gutters overflowing on the north side, but we now since have found out that it says on the south side. So that's one of the corrections that we found that is going to benefit us in this room. Go ahead and advance the other slides. This is just some of the slides that are along the foundation of the church. So, okay, keep going to the next. Okay, the downspouts, then go ahead and advance. This is the new routing of the downspouts that go back into there, and then they go into the courtyard and then under the building to the back. I'll speak to that a little bit later when we get around to the backyard. So go ahead and advance it to the next set of slides. And this is all along the north and south side of the fellowship hall. Once again, I think these are the field tile that we have. So we got all the way around. Basically, the entire church has been waterproofed and storm drains put in. The only thing that's left to do is the backyard. So keep advance it again. So this is the south parking lot. This is where we ran into a few problems. Go ahead and. The one thing that for the older people that are here can remember the old entrance to the church where we had a staircase that went down into the lower level. Well, when we dug it up, it's still there. So talk about a firm foundation. It was quite a monumental feat to work through that. They actually had to get air hammers and chisels and everything. And go ahead and advance a couple more. This is the main electrical line that comes into the church at the south end. We also dug up 2 gas lines that were abandoned, the original gas line to the church, and then one that was replaced probably about 30 years ago. And the actual one we never even touched, but anyway, we had to work around all these pipes. And then if that wasn't enough, go ahead and advance again. No, one more. This is, no, one more, Jeff. This is the, if you can see the pillar for the entrance there. If you look down in the dirt, that's not dirt, that's rock. And so we had a big boulder of some kind that we spent all day hammering through there because we had to get through that to get the drain tile through. Part of the reason we had to do that is because of the new addition. The old drain tile went under the new building, the new entrance, the staircase and that. So the thinking was it's really got to be replaced. We could probably use that same tile, but then 10 years, 20 years down the road, we'd end up having to do what we're doing right now. And we found this little gem that wasn't expected in the price of the bid, so we had to deal with that. Okay, go ahead and advance. Okay. This is just, keep going. And this is all through that area. You can see some of the block work and that of the foundation of the steps. So that's, and then as we realized in doing camera work and scoping and finding out where the pipes were down there, we found out that most of this courtyard needed to be on its own separate line because there is a lot of roof line, a lot of water coming down. So we realized once we get in the back, this is still in the process of being done. The water that comes out is too much in a downpour for the 2 6-inch lines that we have. So we're taking one of the 6-inch lines out and replacing it with a 12-inch culvert pipe that will then all the drains will feed into that. So hopefully there won't be any, when we have a downpour, gutters gushing out and dumping water in the foundation and then causing the moisture problems. And part of the things that we did while we had everything tore up, we put water hydrants in at the front portico and one behind the sign, so it'll be easier to, maintain and the property, the yards and stuff like that. Go ahead and the next couple slides. Yeah, one more. Okay, keep going. Okay, now go ahead and start this. Now this is really kind of exciting because in the process of bidding this job and that we were talking about the access of the handicap ramp that is out there and how it's really hard to maneuver and stuff like that. And so the Doug Ford from Fordson Concrete, as we were replacing this sidewalk along the south side of the sanctuary, goes, why don't you just raise this sidewalk up to meet the front? And so that's what we're doing. If you walk out there today, you'll see the forms set for this. This walkway is all gone and it's level now with the sanctuary floor and meets the portico out there. So we now no longer need a handicap ramp. And if you go out there and look, it's really going to look, you won't even know that anything's been done. And then the handicap ramp will be taken out. It will open up the north side of the sanctuary. So keep advancing. And this is out this door from the sanctuary to the shed. It's always been a wet spot when, even in the wintertime, taking Christmas decorations in and out, or just trying to get in and things taken from the shed into the sanctuary and that. So there's going to be a concrete pad there that is absolutely level with the floor and level with the shed, so it'll be easier to take things in and out of the shed. Go ahead and advance. And you can see the forms for the sanctuary, the walk along the sanctuary, and you can see where it meets the front of the portico. Advance one more. Yeah, this shows it a lot better. It still looks almost like identically the same. The only thing is there's going to be a slight pitch up, and it's well within the guidelines of ADA. And I think a lot of people, especially older people that have a hard time maneuvering the steps, will probably be coming in that way because it'll be an easier access. And it just makes our church more open for, people, welcoming to people who have handicaps or disabilities. So the only other thing that is left to do is the backyard of the church and connecting everything up. It's currently now going through the old tile pipes back there that have been cleaned and everything. So if we have some rainstorms, which we're supposed to have this week, most of that will go through the old system until we can get it back and up and going. Fordson Concrete is also we're going to eliminate the steps going around the back side of the parking lot to the back and making it a ramp that for the first time somebody will be able, that's in a wheelchair, to be able to have access to our backyard, which they never were before unless they went through the building. But anybody that is handicapped can actually now have access to the backyard. And that will go all the way down to the courtyard, the preschool courtyard, and that will be, all the bricks will be removed. That pad will be raised up to meet the minimum standards for stepping out onto the patio. So that's better access for it. And obviously the water will run off into the yard, and that will go all the way to the playground and into the middle staircase entrance. Behind, going out this door, if you went out for VBS, you instantly step into grass as soon as you go out there. there's going to be a huge pad back there, like almost like a patio, with the steps going down to that new entrance to the sub-basement. So I think we got everything covered for the next, 50 years, or at least until I'm gone and somebody else can come up here and explain this stuff. But I think it was really profound that Pastor Stevens talked about the rich heritage of this church, and it's nice to know from the generosity of the Hardy Family Charitable Trust that we're able to do things that will ensure that this church is, has a rich heritage for the future to come. Now, some of the things like the changing of the culvert pipe back there and all the rock that we found caused us to be pushing up against the amount of the grant. So I'll throw you back under the bus on that. But we really need your help as far as donating to BMI to help finish this project, whatever. I don't see, knock wood, that we're going to run into anything else in the backyard, but who knows? So anyway, thanks. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer.
Okay, so we are currently contracted for $206,000 for the work that is happening. This includes the unexpected cost of the 12-inch culvert pipe and the jackhammer to remove the foundation wall and giant rock. It also includes the cement work that has started. We are also going to need to fix the playground after that is dug up. They have discovered that one of the pipes goes out right under the middle of the playground. So we're going to have to dig that up. So that will need to be fixed once that happens. And we're going to need to reseed the whole yard, as you can tell from the way it looks now, front and back. This is estimated to cost between $20,000 and $25,000. This will put us over the grant money. So if anyone is so moved to give towards these costs, you can make a donation and notate it for landscaping, playground, or BMI. Any of those will work. I want to thank you all for your patience as this project has moved along. The yard is a mess, but I am confident that it's going to look beautiful when we're all done. So thank you. Any questions? We did that good a job of explaining it?
Run.
Awesome. Pastor Stevens coming. Oh, okay. Okay.
First, a big thank you to our trustees for doing all this and following through and doing all this work. As you can see, and Joe also, who serves on trustees, this is a group that is working together, that no decisions are being made by any one individual. It's all group work together to try to figure out the best way that we can be good stewards of all the heritage that we've been blessed with, this place that we've been blessed with, and hopefully, like as Scott said, to secure it to a point where, 50 or 70 years from now, people are having this discussion and none of us are around for it. So it's a place of ministry for many more decades, and they'll have to deal with this stuff as it comes back around. So thank you all again. Thank you for all the work that you do. Thank you all for all the ways that you bless the work of the church, and you can give to BMI to help offset costs like this, and that's a wonderful thing to be able to do. Also, as we leave for real today, there is still fellowship out front. There's juice and chips and all that kind of stuff. And Missions Planning Group will be meeting right in the back, right where Seth is sitting right now. So grab something real quick, come back in, and we'll have a meeting right back there. So thank you all.